friends, I'm Casper, the Boy Diviner here today, and thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you my hashtag hug decks. This is a tag started by Patsy's Mystical Musings about 3 months ago, but I find it really relevant to what has been going on in the world these days, and I found myself wanting a more gentle touch to my deck. So I'm going to cover about 5 of my most gentle, the most heartwarming kind of decks, and I hope you enjoy. But before I go into those decks, I just wanted to share about hashtag Black Lives Matter. I don't live near the US. I'm Singaporean, and the racial makeup in Singapore is really different, and racism is also prevalent here. At the same time, as a complex human being, I'm allowed to feel distress over something that's happening in the US, and I'm just saying this because I know some Singaporeans are really upset when people are talking about Black Lives Matter in Singapore because we are not talking about local issues as much. But to me, I'm allowed to feel upset by both things. Watching the video of George Floyd being murdered was really difficult, and it's a terrible situation. I am definitely not the most knowledgeable about this. All I just wanted to say is to just make a statement that I support Black Lives Matter. There are people in Singapore that I have cut off just because I don't think they understand the gravity of the situation, and I have tried to educate. At the same time, I need to educate myself, before I can really share those kind of resources. Regardless of that, I am going to add a link below that shows some of the best ways you can support this movement in the US. And even though I'm not saying too much about this, I'm not dedicating a whole video on this, I just hope that whatever I'm doing is not merely performative. Someone reached out to me on Instagram on that, and I really appreciate that. I really do care. At the same time, I don't know what's appropriate in this situation, being not from the country, being a minority race in the US and facing racism there when I was there, and also being the majority race in my own country. It's a lot of dichotomies that I have to try to... Again, I'm going to stop myself there. I don't want to give myself excuses for not creating a statement. So this is my statement. I care about Black Lives Matter. There is educational resources below that I found, or people have referred me to, and I hope everyone takes a look at that. So an abrupt change to about my hug decks. I do think the whole situation is relevant to today's deck collection share, just because everyone is being reminded of what they can do more. Everyone is being reminded about how we should face our own flaws head on and try to be better, and to strip excuses from our mouths like I just did a while ago. Any case, the first deck I wanted to share that is my first hug deck is the Weird Cat Tarot. This is a really cute deck, and even though it does tell the truth, all decks to me tell the truth, there is something so charming about the deck and how cute it is. It's cute. It is very charming. It is very playful. So this is the deck that I usually go to when I need something more soft. Something when people ask me about a fun thing, just to take their mind off. I rarely get readings like that because I don't like reading for people who just treat tarot as a game. People do say online, like, I think tarot is for entertainment. I don't know whether I agree with that. So I try not to read too much for people. I do try to tell people, my clients, to take time off between readings, especially if they're too heavy, and maybe to take it seriously so that they don't ask, silly questions. But you see the Tower, even such a painful, tough topic, some of the cats here just are so cute. And cats all land on their 4 feet or their 4 paws. So, we're not worried about the cats in the Tower there. Okay, still cute. And the pentacles are all like strawberries. Yeah, this deck is drawn by Gabrielle Cash, and I do feel like it's very well done. It is very RWS. Easy to read. And so cute. So pretty. Okay, so that's the first deck, the Weird Cat Tarot. I think you guys have seen enough. The card stock is really good too, so shuffling it is really, really nice. The next deck I wanted to talk about is one of my first decks. It's my first Kickstarter deck that I ever backed, and it's the Personal Space Tarot. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but I really like the color scheme. It feels very gentle, even though some of the cards are tough. So I do feel like this is a hug deck. I tried to do a deck mod and tried to stain the edges gold. Clearly it didn't work out as I hoped it would. I don't know if you can see that. I doubt you can. because it's not auto-focusing for some reason, but it's just a light stain, and even though I went through it around 2-3 times, it never really stayed, and it also stained the front. So I'm trying my best to not deal with it anymore and be happy with the light stain that it already has. But you can see how beautiful that color scheme is. I haven't been reaching out for this as much because I usually use this for mental health, self-love kind of readings, and even though I should be doing them more with everything that's going on, not only, you know, life has also not been super great. I mean, there's the pandemic still going on, so I should be using this deck a little more, and I'm glad I thought about it when I was thinking about hug decks. So really nice. The skulls are a repeating motif in this deck, and they are still really cute. Yeah, I really like this deck. The color scheme, the minimalist kind of images like the star, you see, so minimal. The cards do stick because of my fault, because of that card mod that I did. But I'm pretty happy. I think she might be releasing this again. Maybe with like better card stock, because the card stock on this one isn't great. Yeah. And if you're a beginner, I don't super recommend this deck. There are some difficulties. For example, like this one. I don't really see the 8 of Swords here. So, but of course, if you are a person who reads more based on numerology, I think this deck would still be good for you. I've seen the guidebook. The guidebook doesn't talk about every single minor. It only highlights the numerology of the suits. Okay? If you didn't know, I spent like 5 minutes trying to pronounce that word. Yeah, I think that's sufficient. I really enjoyed this deck. People should really think about it, especially if it's coming out again. I will be tempted if the card stock is better to get it again, but I shall refrain because I'm not using the one I already have. This is how I try to rationalize my purchases. If you're finding this helpful in any way, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out, helps my channel. The algorithm will show my video to more people, and that is really what I hope for my channel, you know, more growth. Thank you so much. Okay, the next deck I wanted to talk about is the Otherkin Tarot. The Otherkin Tarot is by Siolo Thompson. I feel like all of her decks are pretty gentle. I really like the Line Strider deck as well, but something about this card stock is better, and it is a cute animal-human kind of deck. I think there are some tough images here also, but I do feel like the color scheme, how pastel it is, the watercolors, look at how cute and precious this bunny is. But you can see the 4 of Pentacles, someone being like a 8 being entangled by what they own. I feel like that's super representative of the RWS, but look at this 3 of Cups, perfect. 8 of Swords, so cute, perfect. I wish I used this deck more. I really enjoyed this deck actually, more than the Line Strider that I got, mainly because of the card stock. This one is better, glossy, but still much better than the one I got. Look at the Knights. I love the Knights in this deck. Okay, I did a walkthrough of this deck a while ago, and I talked about how much I loved it. I just wanted to show it to you guys because I do feel like it's a good hug deck that is appropriate for these times. So it is something you can consider. Yeah, one of my favorite parts about this deck is really the watercolor wash on the back. Can you see that? Those are beautiful, and her art is impeccable. The backs of the cards are also super beautiful. Okay, the next hug deck is pretty new to my collection. It's the Star Spinner Tarot. If you guys don't know about the stories in the Star Spinner Tarot, feel free to watch my chat about the stories. I don't really show all the cards, I just talk about the stories, but it is a beautiful, beautiful deck. Okay. Despite all the issues coming from Book Depository, everything, the deck arrived, and it's so gentle, it is so beautiful, and it's so diverse. I love it. Okay. It has Asian influences. I think the Empress is black. There are a lot of representation in this deck with you know, bodies and all of that. Everything is, I feel like this is a good balance. Okay, the Emperor. Yeah, I really enjoy this deck. I don't know what else to say, but I do feel like it is a gentle deck. And because it covers, you know, the myths, even the tough parts, most fairy tales end off happily. So there is that sense that, you know, it is all temporary, we can get through this together. That's the kind of feel I get from this deck. You know, I'm not one for mass market decks, but this is one that I really can stand by. And I feel really connected to. Yeah, I had many mass market decks this year that I really wanted. In the end, because I only allowed myself a certain number of decks, this was one of them that I really chose. You know, through everything that came out. Yeah, I can stand by this deck, and I do feel like it's an appropriate kind of hug deck. The last deck that I wanted to show today that is a hug deck for me is actually the Persephone Tarot, but I don't know how many of you would really want to see that because it is out of print. I almost sold it away because I couldn't connect as well. I think it's because I bought it when I was in a very early part of my tarot journey. I bought it when I was trying to connect with Apollo better. I don't know if it really fit that kind of view, but this deck is delightful. It's really cute. Some of the images are a bit minimalist, but look at Apollo. It's a delightful deck no matter what. I like the art. Marisa de la Pena is the artist, and she has done so well. I think the newer edition, which is red, white, and black, I think I would prefer that better because the cardstock looks much more matte. But I can't really justify buying that since I have this one. Look at this. This is such a difficult card, but how she draws it, there is some sort of whimsy. I would say whimsy to it. She doesn't make the card look stupid. There is a whimsy to it that I really enjoy. Okay. The thing is, maybe I don't know enough about Greek culture and Greek myths to really appreciate this deck, but I don't feel like I have to do that to understand or appreciate it as a hug deck. Yeah, I really enjoy this deck. This is one of the decks that, you know, even though sometimes I don't really get what it's trying to tell me, and sometimes I do overcomplicate things, look at how delightful this card is. Okay, and this deck is the least of the, like, out of my whole collection of hug decks that I wanted to show you today, I feel like this is the most contentious one because sometimes the messages that comes out can be really hard. But I decided I shall just put it in because honestly, I do smile when I see the cards in this deck. Okay, there's an honorable mention, but not because it's a hug deck. It's because I thought this would be a hug deck, but it ended up not being a hug deck, and it's the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. This one is tough. The images are cute, but every time I get a message from this deck, it is always tough. You know, I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't use it enough, but even pretty pictures like this one, you know, there's that melancholy in this deck that wouldn't go away. So this is one of the decks that surprised me. Like, first impressions, I thought it would be delightful to use, but when I'm using it, I do feel that sense of melancholy. Not that it's a bad thing, I just don't think it's appropriate for me to use it right now in the circumstances that I'm in. If you're interested in maybe a collection of decks that really surprised me or didn't fulfill my first impressions, let me know. I'll be happy to share some of the decks that are like that, including the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found this valuable. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And yeah, let me know what are your hug decks. Yeah, you guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye. Some the numeral